What's going on, guys? It's your boy Trillionaire Mac, and welcome back to another video. So this is going to be episode 3, I believe, of Mac Trades. And we are going to be discussing not only what has taken place last week, but what I'm expecting to take place this week as well within the markets. So if we're looking at the DXY, we can see that the DXY completely blew through this zone, which we talked about on last week, and it pushed to the upside to tap into this zone. Now, price is heading back to the upside, it looks like, from market open, and we can expect price to possibly either tap a little bit more into this zone here, or I have this little area here. You guys can feel free to break this down on a lower time frame for yourself. Okay, but I have a point of interest that I'm looking at price to reject, possibly if we can get that trade. All right, overall, once price starts to push to the downside, you guys can feel free to target this area right here, okay, within your charts. It's going to be a good area to target. We know that we have liquidity resting there. So this is what I'm looking at on the DXY, and let's get into the next. All right, guys. So the next pair we're going to be discussing is going to be gold. Now, I know we didn't discuss gold last week, but we are going to be discussing it this week, and I do have a point of interest that I want you guys to pay attention to. So the point of interest that I want you all to pay attention to is right here. Once price taps into 1819.58, you can feel free to round that off to 60 if you would like. We're going to be looking for price to push to the upside and possibly target these highs right up here within this area. Okay, now price does not have to push from this region here, okay, but this is where I'm looking at price rejecting, all right, with our entry schematic that we use within the Telegram community. If you're not a part of that, feel free to join, or you can feel free to use your own entry schematic once price enters this area. Now, if you guys look behind me, okay, you guys can see exactly where price came from, and we're essentially using the zone that decided to seek liquidity and push price to the upside as our target with this refinement. All right. Now, if you have any questions about what I just said, feel free to contact me. I definitely have you covered. Let's go ahead and move on to the next. All right. So next we're going to be discussing AUDUSD, also known as my favorite pair. So as you guys can see, we had a nice push to the upside from this region here, okay, which we originally talked about last week. So if you were to catch the first entry opportunity off of this area, you were able to catch 94 pips off of just tuning into the new season, okay, with the new episodes called Mac Trades. Congrats to you guys. If you're not already subscribed to the YouTube channel, you may want to feel free to go ahead and subscribe. I have a lot of good content and a lot of information coming to you all very, very soon. We just ordered a new mic as well, so please, please, please stick with us with the audio difficulties. No worries, that will be improved pretty shortly. So price has now come back down to this area. And remember, we can continue to play around within this zone as many times as price wants. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for a second entry schematic. If you're within my Telegram trading community, you're already inside of this entry schematic with me. If price pushes to the downside, then you guys already know exactly what we're waiting on. And if you don't, then feel free to tune into our 9 p.m. webinar within the Telegram community tonight, because we will be discussing it, of course. All right. So I'm looking for price to continue to push to the upside, and you guys can easily target this region right here, okay, this high right here, as your first target easily. And then, of course, you guys know my Telegram community and I are going to target this region here. We gave that target last week, so there you guys go. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the next pair. Let's keep it going. All right, so the next pair on our list is going to be EURUSD. So as you guys can see, we did have this first point of interest that was around this area right here, okay? Now we can see that price broke to the downside. We continued to push deeper into our previous mitigation zone, which was right here within this area, okay? So price did not necessarily respect our first zone. Price continued to push to the downside. Now we're looking for price to possibly give us another move to the upside if it can take place. Now on my micro time frame, where you guys see that number, okay, that is where I'm looking at price to enter on my micro time frame in order for me to take advantage of a possible entry opportunity during London session, pre-London, whenever it decides to take place. All right, I want you guys to also look for a possible entry right here within this area. Now I'm not going to necessarily break down the micro time frame that I'm using, okay, or how I'm going to take advantage, but you guys can feel free to use your own entry schematic within this area here. And it's broken down to this bullish pin bar right here, this bullish candle right here. All right, so feel free to use that information to take advantage of EURUSD. We should see a nice push to the upside come pretty soon. You guys can feel free to target these highs right here, or even these highs right here. So I would use this as target 1. I would use this as target 2. And for those of you who want to swing trade this right along with me, because I will be swing trading this, I want you to join me within the Telegram community. Links in the description. All right, and remember, all the information that I'm applying on the charts, I do teach within the institutional trading course, so feel free to check that out as well. All right, so this is what I'm looking at is EURUSD. Let's go ahead and hop into the next pair and keep things rolling. All right, so the next pair that we're going to be discussing within episode 3 is going to be EURJPY. So EURJPY, we had our first entry opportunity right up here within this area. And if you guys were able to take advantage of this, price dropped a whopping 260 pips to the downside. This is exactly why I'm glad that I'm starting these episodes for you all, because I want you all to be able to take advantage of these types of trades, all right? Now, my point of interest that I'm looking at is going to be right here within this area, as you guys can see denoted by the price tag there. All right, now if price does not give us an entry schematic here, then I would be looking for price to return and maybe push deeper into this region or respect this region here, right? Now we'll discuss that more as we continue to get into EURJPY and the movements of this week. But you guys can check back in episode 2, to see exactly which one I'm going to use, whether it be this here or whether I look for price to trade back into this region here. All right. Now, if you were able to take advantage of EURJPY, feel free to send me screenshots, feel free to send me your profits, things like that. And what I'll be doing is the people that take advantage of these trades and are able to get a fantastic entry and send them to me through Telegram, I'm going to enter you into a giveaway. Maybe we'll give away like $25 worth of cryptocurrency. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if you did take advantage of this, I would like to see it. All right. So feel free to send me those trades and I'll be looking forward to it. All right. So this area here, go ahead and put it inside of your notes on your charts, whatever you need to do. And let's see how price respects when it pulls back into that region. All right. Let's go ahead and hop into the next pair. All right. So the next pair that we're going to discuss is going to be a pair that we did not discuss on last week, and that's going to be GBPUSD. So my first point of interest is going to be right here within this area. All right, we can see that price dropped a little bit of inducement here, right? And we'll be looking for this to be our possible extreme. Now, I am not going to play from this zone here, okay? You could possibly have a zone played off of this area, but to me, that is going to be a less probability. I'm not going to teach it publicly, but if you guys do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can definitely answer that. My second point of interest that I'm going to look for price to play off of is going to be this region here, all right? With price denoted at the end of the zone as well. Now, I did get a possible entry opportunity here, and I say possible because I'm sure some of you guys did not take it, but I did enter the market right here. Price pushed to the upside about 6.5%, and then I went break even or risk free, around 4%, and then price pushed to the downside. So that was a break even trade for me. It happens. I'm not too worried about it. But if price does give us an entry opportunity here, okay, you can look to target these highs right here within this area. All right, shouldn't be bad at all. All right, GBPUSD is one of those pairs that I do like to trade only when I see that my analysis is accurate. All right, let's see what happens with this analysis. And this is going to, be the deciding factor whether or not we're going to talk about it on the next episode. Let's move on to the next. All right, so last but not least, of course, we're going to discuss GBPJPY. So our first entry opportunity we wanted to see take place was up here at this zone. All right, price continued to push to the downside after giving us consolidation before a break of structure. So what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for price to return to this area possibly. And if we get an entry schematic, I will be in the trade. All right, the end all be all is of course going to be this zone right up here, using this area as liquidity, which would be used as inducement for price to possibly travel higher. All right, so that is what I'm looking at as it relates to all of my pairs broken down. Feel free to use your entry schematics at all of these zones. And if you would like an entry schematic to use at these zones, feel free to join me within the Telegram community. Everyone who is on the February waitlist, I've already added you guys. We had over 2,000 people on the waitlist that were just now added last week. Super excited to get you guys started. And remember, guys, only risk 1% of your account per trade recommendation or per trade that you take personally. All right. With that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.